I'm Steve Callander. I'm the Herbert Hoover Professor of Public and Private Management at the Stanford Graduate School of Business and Professor of Political Economy. Organised labour is largely a shadow of what it used to be. We had union membership up around 30% after the war and went now down into the low teens. So labour just can't wield the power that they used to a generation or two ago. That's not to say, though, that the interests that organised labour represent, the interests of the working class, are no longer being represented in American politics. One of the more interesting developments of recent years has been the rise of different new activist groups that are representing the interests of those people. And now some of these groups have been very effective. I think the example of Occupy Wall Street is very, very interesting in this regard. Occupy Wall Street, I think, has had a profound influence on the frame of reference on American politics. We talk about the 1%. You might remember that all came out of Occupy Wall Street. And this is really interesting because objectively, by traditional measures, Occupy Wall Street was a complete failure. They never articulated a goal and they never achieved any quantifiable goal from all of the attention and all the energy that they harnessed. But when we look 3-5 years down the track as we are today, we see that the whole frame of reference about politics has shifted. There's the talk about the 1%, there's talk about inequality, and that's now at the center of American politics. And I think we can trace that through from movements like Occupy Wall Street and the influence they had. So whilst organised labour is not as powerful as they used to be, we're seeing new forms, new structures develop on the left, and that's representing those interests, and perhaps even representing them more effectively than they have been in the past. Business leaders are very aware that their businesses, their market opportunities exist within a political environment, and so they need to be conversant in the political language of the day. And so business leaders are very aware that inequality is an issue that their customers care about, it's an issue their employees care about, and it's an issue that voters care about. And that means they need to care about it. And so I think that's the change we've seen in the last few years. It's no longer endless talk about cutting regulations and helping business. There's much more talk about inequality, about opportunity, and about the broader public. And I think that's changed politics, and that's changing business today as well.